Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. So, what does the catalytic converter even do? Think of it as the lungs of your car's exhaust system. Its job is to take harmful gases produced by your engine, like carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxides, and convert them into much less harmful substances like carbon dioxide and water vapor. It's a crucial part of your car's emissions system, and it keeps our air cleaner. The car's computer, or ECU, constantly monitors the converter's performance using two oxygen sensors. There's one before the converter, called the upstream O2 sensor, and one after it, the downstream O2 sensor. The ECU compares the readings from these two sensors. The upstream sensor's readings should fluctuate a lot, while the downstream sensor's readings should be relatively stable. If the downstream sensor starts to mimic the upstream one, it tells the ECU that the converter isn't converting those gases effectively. And boom! It triggers the P0420 code and turns on your check engine light. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so the emissions are a bit off. Is that really a big deal? Well, aside from failing an emissions test, a failing catalytic converter can cause some noticeable problems with your car. First, you might experience a significant loss of power. The car might feel sluggish when you accelerate, almost like it struggling to breathe. This is often because the internal structure of the converter can break down and clog the exhaust, creating back pressure that chokes the engine. You'll also likely see your fuel economy take a nosedive. When the engine isn't running efficiently, it burns more fuel to compensate, so you'll be visiting the gas station a lot more often. Another classic sign is a smell like rotten eggs or sulfur coming from your exhaust. That unmistakable smell is from unburned fuel and sulfur compounds that a healthy converter would normally process. If you ignore this code for too long, the problems can get worse. The increased back pressure I mentioned can put a huge strain on your engine, potentially leading to overheating and serious, expensive internal damage over time. So, yes, it's definitely something you want to address sooner rather than later. So, where do you find these components? Pop the hood and trace the exhaust manifold coming from your engine. The exhaust pipe will lead down under the car. Along that pipe, you'll see a small, sensor-like device screwed in. That's your upstream O2 sensor. Further down the pipe, you'll find a larger, muffler-like component. That's the catalytic converter. And just after the converter, you'll find another sensor screwed into the pipe. That's your downstream O2 sensor. On V-style engines, Bank 1 refers to the side of the engine that contains cylinder number 1. You can easily look up the cylinder layout for your specific car online. Alright, let's talk about the fix. Many people jump straight to replacing the catalytic converter, which is the most expensive part of this equation. But hold on, that's not always the root cause. The first and easiest thing to check for is an exhaust leak. A leak anywhere between the upstream and downstream O2 sensors can let extra oxygen into the exhaust stream. This can fool the downstream sensor into thinking the converter isn't working, triggering the P0420 code. So, get under the car safely, of course, and inspect the exhaust system for any cracks, holes, or loose gasket. Sometimes, a simple weld or a new gasket is all you need. If there are no exhaust leaks, the next most likely culprit is actually the downstream O2 sensor itself. These sensors can wear out over time and start sending inaccurate readings to the ECU. Replacing an O2 sensor is far cheaper and easier than replacing the entire catalytic converter, so it's often a wise next step, especially on older high-mileage vehicles. You can test the sensor with a multimeter if you're comfortable with that, or you can just replace it, as they are a common wear and tear item. Finally, if you've ever ruled out exhaust leaks, and you've ever replaced the downstream O2 sensor and the code still comes back, then it's very likely that the catalytic converter itself has failed. At this point, replacement is your only option. This can be an expensive job, so be prepared. It's important to use a quality replacement part. Cheap, aftermarket converters often fail quickly and will just land you back in the same situation. Also, consider why the original converter failed. Things like engine misfires or burning oil can send unburned fuel into the exhaust, which can overheat and destroy a new converter in no time. So make sure your engine is in good running order before you install that new part. And that's the P0420 code. Start with the simple checks, Work your way up, and you can save yourself a lot of time and money. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. Drop a comment below with your own P0420 stories. And don't forget to subscribe for more car repair tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.